Here at Launchpad, we work with students of all ability levels. We've had students starting at an ACT score of 12, that's about 5th percentile. We've also had students starting with a 32, 98th percentile. These students have very different goals and very different needs for their test prep. For the student starting with a 12, ending with an 18 showed amazing growth. For a student with a 32, moving up to a 34 is huge. Isn't it great that we can adapt to where our students are and what they need? The big box prep companies can't do that. But beyond goal setting, I try not to focus too much on the numbers themselves, but rather emphasize progress. If you obsess about the number, you can miss all the hard work that's happening. It often takes a while for students to internalize new information. With our student population, that's especially true. And progress may not become clear for a while. Week-to-week fluctuations in the numbers just don't mean much, since there are so many other variables that can impact them. Maybe the student woke up on the wrong side of bed. Maybe it was a really stressful week. Maybe he did his homework at midnight last night. And maybe it was just an unlucky day and the student made a lot of wrong guesses. None of that has anything to do with ability or knowledge, so the numbers just don't catch everything going on. Further, a 1-point difference shouldn't be cause for major celebration. Well, maybe minor celebration. We want to see a more gradual upward trend over a few weeks or months. That sort of change is sustainable and indicates real progress. For example, a student who finally learns to recognize a comma splice on the English test makes me much happier than just seeing a 1-point jump in her score. A shining example of learning to focus on the process is one of my current students. He's on the autism spectrum. He'd fit into what used to be called Asperger's syndrome. He also struggles mightily with reading comprehension. His reading scores on the ACT have definitely improved. At last testing, he'd gone up 6 points over his baseline. But he wrote me recently to say how grateful he is for my help. He didn't talk about the numbers. He talked about how he feels like he's better. That made my heart sing. Hope you can learn to let the number go a bit too. It takes some of the stress off and switches your outlook to one of growth rather than aiming for the end point. You'll be glad you did.